Lily Chang's alarm rang out at 5:30 a.m., just like it did each and every morning. She let out a soft groan, quickly stifling it to avoid disturbing her roommate in their small apartment. At 6:15, she found herself on the subway, wedged between fellow commuters, going over her notes for the internship presentation while munching on a protein bar that doubled as her breakfast. The Hayes Tech internship represented her opportunity, perhaps her sole opportunity, to restore what her family had once possessed. Only 6 more months, she murmured softly, adjusting her thrifted blazer with care. Another 6 months of balancing the unpaid internship alongside evening shifts at the cafe. Another 6 months of sending half her paycheck to her father, whose health had worsened along with their family's financial struggles. Upon arriving at the radiant Hayes Tech building, Lily underwent a remarkable change. With her back straight and chin held high, she transformed into the assured intern who posed thoughtful questions in meetings, all while grappling with the burden of feeling like an outsider. 50 floors above where Lily stepped in, Ethan Hayes examined the quarterly projections displayed on his office wall. By the age of 35, he had transformed Hayes Tech into a formidable technology empire, yet this success was not without its sacrifices. The image captured in the expansive windows revealed a man marked by the enduring creases of worry etched across his forehead. The Indonesian deal remains uncertain, his assistant conveyed, placing a coffee on his desk. Dark, without sweetness, exactly as he liked it. In Ethan's realm, every element was meticulously tuned for optimal performance. His penthouse apartment with a view of the city, his carefully planned schedule, his connections precise, transactional, and easily discarded. Arrange a call with Jakarta for this evening, he responded, not lifting his gaze. As Daniel Carter walked in, Ethan recognized him instantly. No need to glance up to confirm his presence. They had shared too many years together for that. Daniel's luxurious cologne always heralded his presence. "You look terrible," Daniel remarked, pouring himself a glass of the whiskey Ethan reserved for significant clients. "The market's unpredictable. We really need that Matsuo contract," Daniel chuckled. "You ought to take a step back and unwind. It seems you're caught up in the details, missing out on the bigger picture." Ethan cast a sidelong look at his friend, pondering when Daniel had grown so at ease while he felt so tense. They began with absolutely nothing, crafting the company from a mere idea conceived in a dorm room. Now Daniel enjoyed weekends on yachts, while Ethan dedicated his time to reviewing contracts. That evening, well past the time when most employees had departed, Ethan came to the unsettling realization that he had overlooked a crucial file needed for his meeting the following morning. As he stepped back into his shadowy office, the distant strains of music reverberated softly through the vacant halls. Drawn by the noise, he arrived at the entrance of the communal space. A young woman glided across the floor, her movements a blend of joy and sorrow, as if she were weaving a story through her dance. Her face, aglow with the city's lights streaming through the windows, reflected a sense of freedom that Ethan realized he had never truly experienced. He identified her from the personnel records. Lily Chang, the intern who had captivated multiple department heads. On paper, she held great potential. In that moment, observing her dance as if she were alone, she was captivating. Ethan took a step back, suddenly aware of his presence as if he were an unwelcome guest. As he pivoted to depart, his phone emitted a loud chime. The dancer halted, her gaze locking onto him in the doorway. Their gazes locked, his filled with embarrassment and hers with mortification, forging an unexpected bond between realms that were never destined to collide. The following morning, Ethan found it difficult to concentrate. Visions of Lily's dance continually disrupted his reflections. The elegance of her gestures, the unfiltered feelings reflected in her expression. It was completely foreign to the order he was accustomed to. During his daily briefing with Daniel, Ethan found himself inquiring, "What insights do you have regarding the intern in Lily Chang?" Daniel's response was immediate and disconcerting. His relaxed attitude disappeared, giving way to an icy presence. "What is the reason?" Daniel's grip on his coffee cup grew firmer. "Merely inquisitive. I've come across some positive feedback. You ought to keep your distance from her." Daniel cautioned, his tone sharp. A multitude of interns exists. Concentrate on the Matsuo agreement instead. The dialogue progressed, yet Daniel's response remained etched in Ethan's thoughts. What was it about this specific intern that elicited such a reaction? Lily felt a deep sense of embarrassment. The CEO had discovered her twirling about like a jester in the late hours. She had stumbled over her words in a hasty apology before darting away, convinced that her internship was at risk. That morning, she focused on the ground, hoping he would remain silent about the incident. Challenging start to the day? Inquired Min, another intern, as they got ready for a presentation. You have no idea? Lily muttered, her hands trembling as she sorted through her notes. Her phone vibrated, signaling a message from her father. The doctor has adjusted my medication, and I require an additional $200 this month. Lily shut her eyes for a moment, already deep into her double shifts at the cafe. Where could she discover additional funds? Chong, it's your turn, her supervisor announced. Setting her personal concerns aside, Lily delivered her insights on consumer engagement strategies. Halfway through, she caught sight of Ethan Hayes entering the back of the room. Her words stumbled for a brief moment, but she quickly found her footing, concluding with greater strength than she had begun. As the gathering came to a close, Ethan made his way over to her. Outstanding effort, Miss Chong. Thank you, Mr. Hayes, she responded with a sense of formality, gripping her portfolio more firmly. Please join the strategy meeting for the Matsuo pitch this afternoon. Soft murmurs began to swirl in the air around them. Interns were consistently absent from strategy meetings. Who, me? Lily was taken aback. He stated plainly that your viewpoint could hold significance, then turned and left. Min seized her arm. What was that all about? Lily replied with complete honesty. I have no idea. The strategy meeting felt quite daunting. As she stepped into the conference room, the executives, twice her age, couldn't help but stare. Lily settled into the corner, striving to blend into the background. When Ethan sought her perspective on engaging younger consumers, she responded with surprising assurance, referencing insights gained from her evening role at the cafe. They aren't interested in another tech product. They seek a bond. Something genuine that resonates with them, she concluded. A hush enveloped the room. Ethan nodded, deep in thought. He directed the team to weave Miss Chang's insights into the presentation. Following the meeting, Daniel Carter trapped Ethan in his office, shutting the door with a decisive click. What are you up to? Daniel insisted. Seeking a new viewpoint on the Matsuo deal? Isn't that what you proposed? Not from her. Daniel's expression grew somber. You're unaware of her identity. If you truly understood, you wouldn't be engaging in this behavior. Then reveal it to me, Ethan dared. Daniel gave a slight shake of his head. Simply have faith in my judgment on this matter. Maintain your space. Yet Daniel's caution only fueled Ethan's intrigue. That evening, he carefully examined Lily's application file. Her qualifications were remarkable, yet there was an elusive quality that felt absent. Unexplained voids in her past that sparked curiosity. Meanwhile, Lily sat in her small apartment, pondering how to extend her budget even more. The call to the strategy meeting came as a surprise. Was it due to her efforts, or was there another reason? The way Ethan observed her throughout the presentation seemed distinct. Not assessing, but truly curious. Don't act foolishly, she reminded herself. He holds the position of CEO. You are merely an intern. However, the following day, she discovered a note asking her to attend yet another meeting. The following day, Ethan approached her desk to inquire about her thoughts on the implementation ideas. The chatter in the office reached a fever pitch. There were whispers that Lily was exchanging favors for the spotlight. Some murmured that she surely had ties to influential people. Only Lily held the secret. She shared the same bewilderment as the rest. The increasing focus from Ethan Hayes sent a mix of excitement and fear through her, particularly as she caught sight of Daniel Carter lurking nearby, his demeanor growing more ominous with every encounter. A tension was brewing among these formidable figures, and inexplicably, she found herself ensnared in their midst. It unfolded on a Tuesday afternoon. Lily was making her way to the executive floor with reports in hand when she caught a glimpse of Daniel's voice echoing from the break room, laced with frustration. He quietly lamented to someone, wishing he had ensured she never entered this company. Chang's daughter is right here, in plain sight. It's inviting chaos. Lily paused, coffee cup suspended midair. The daughter of Chang. It was clear who he was referring to. Could it truly be her? Inquired a woman's voice. Karen, representing the legal department. Are you absolutely sure? As soon as I laid eyes on her application, I had a feeling. That unwavering gaze in her eyes. What is Robert Chang's daughter striving to achieve? Retribution. Lily's hands shook, as memories surged through her like an overwhelming tide. Her father, once the esteemed owner of Chang Tech Solutions, now a shattered figure after bankruptcy. The scandal that obliterated their company. The lawsuit they lacked the means to pursue. Her mother departing in the face of their abrupt poverty. And amidst it all, her father's haunting words. Executives from Hayes Tech played a role in the matter. They took our innovations and defeated us. She had chosen to apply to Hayes Tech with intention, not out of a desire for revenge, but rather in search of understanding and closure. To witness firsthand the organization that had shattered her family. She was taken by surprise at the prospect of connecting with the top executives, never imagining that Ethan Hayes would actually take notice of her. As Daniel and Karen stepped out of the break room, they caught sight of her, causing her coffee to spill onto the floor. Daniel's expression grew stern. What did you catch? He insisted. Lily adjusted her posture. That's sufficient. Your actions to enter this company under misleading circumstances were unjustifiable. Deceptive appearances? Lily's voice escalated even as she tried to maintain her composure. My qualifications are genuine. My creations are genuine. I have always been truthful on my application. You intentionally hid your association with Robert Chang. Was I obligated to reveal my father's name? Or merely that he was devastated by your company? Her words cut through the air, laden with years of suppressed fury. Daniel moved in closer. Your father made choices that led to his downfall in business. We merely obtained what remained. You took his inventions. Are you okay? Ethan's voice pierced the tension of their argument as he turned the corner. Lily faced him, rage seething beneath her composure. Have you heard? She insisted. Ethan's look of confusion appeared to be sincere. Guess what? My identity. My dad. What your organization did to him. Ethan's eyes sparkled with recognition, swiftly giving way to disbelief. You are the daughter of Robert Chang. So you actually recall ruining my family's business? She remarked with a touch of bitterness. Daniel positioned himself between them. Ethan was not involved in the Chang Tech acquisition at all. That was prior to his tenure as CEO. But you were present, Lily charged at Daniel. Your involvement was direct. Ethan glanced back and forth, visibly attempting to unravel the situation unfolding before him. Daniel, what does she mean by that? Ancient history, Daniel said with a wave of his hand. Chang Tech was struggling. We completed a typical business acquisition. After undermining our key clients and taking our proprietary software, Lily added, her voice trembling. After my father dedicated 15 years to creating something you dismantled in mere months, Ethan's expression grew somber. Daniel, I would like to review the files related to the Chang Tech acquisition. Every single one. That's not necessary, Daniel replied hastily. This is simply a poignant tale of familial relationships. The documents, Daniel. At this moment, Lily observed the delicate change in the interaction between the two men. For the first time, she noticed a flicker of doubt in Daniel's gaze. Ms. Chang, Ethan said, his tone unexpectedly soft. I'm eager to learn your perspective on this matter. Please direct me to my office. Daniel seized Ethan's arm. This is an error. It's evident that she has a purpose for being here. Ethan pulled Daniel's hand away. In that case, I ought to be aware of what it is, right? Within the confines of Ethan's office, the door securely shut, Lily began to weave her tale. The journey of Chang Tech in creating groundbreaking security software. They were on the brink of a significant agreement when, Out of the blue, their clients withdrew, pointing to worries about code integrity. Issues that had surfaced in internal Hayes Tech discussions long before they were ever mentioned in public. Half a year later, Hayes Tech unveiled strikingly comparable software. At that point, we had lost everything. My father suffered a stroke due to the overwhelming stress. All that we had is gone. Ethan absorbed every word, allowing the conversation to flow without interruption. His expression grew more and more distressed. I didn't come here for vengeance, Lily concluded. I arrived seeking clarity and perhaps to validate something within myself. What precisely? She locked eyes with him unwaveringly. I aspire to achieve what my father was unable to accomplish. If only I could prove myself worthy enough that even those who oppose him would acknowledge my worth. Ethan remained quiet for an extended period. He finally admitted that he wasn't involved in that acquisition, but by that time, he was at the helm of product development. I ought to have inquired about the origins of those innovations. Oh, you were unaware? Lily sought reassurance that those in power possessed integrity, rather than focusing on the specifics. Yet I ought to have. He appeared truly unsettled. I require some time to delve into this matter. What would motivate you to do that? You are Daniel's companion, his ally. Ethan's demeanor grew resolute. I appreciate loyalty, Miss Chong, yet I hold truth in even higher regard. If your claims hold true, this company owes your family a debt that transcends mere financial matters. As Lily exited his office, a curious mix of lightness and weight settled within her, freer for having finally expressed her truth. Burdened by the understanding that Ethan Hayes could be more than the antagonist she had envisioned, complicating matters further. For 3 days, Ethan hardly stepped out of his office. He called off meetings, delayed calls, and immersed himself in company archives that had remained untouched for years. The discovery left him feeling utterly nauseated. The Chong Tech acquisition was more than mere business strategy. The destruction unfolded with a calculated precision. Internal emails revealed that Daniel had taken the initiative to work with the team to reach out to Chong Tech's clients, sowing seeds of doubt regarding the reliability of their software. Additional documents disclosed that Hayes Tech had lured away a crucial programmer from Chong Tech, who took proprietary code along with him. The financial records revealed troubling payments made to a business journalist who authored a harsh, fabricated expose regarding Chong Tech's financial difficulties. It wasn't solely Chong Tech. Ethan discovered 5 other small tech companies that had experienced comparable downfalls, all masterminded by Daniel, all contributing to Hayes Tech's swift expansion in its formative years. As Ethan stepped into Daniel's office, he was struck by the sensation of encountering someone entirely unfamiliar. You were aware I was investigating this? Ethan remarked, flinging a folder onto the desk. That's the reason you attempted to steer me clear of Lily. Daniel hardly gave the documents a second look. You're exaggerating. You intentionally brought ruin to these companies. Individuals have been stripped of all they once had. That's how things operate, Ethan. Daniel reclined in his chair. Do you really believe we reached this point by being polite? As you focused on creating sophisticated software, others were busy managing the competitive landscape. This transcended mere rivalry. Ethan's voice escalated. This act was utterly reprehensible, yet flawlessly concealed. Daniel's smile was icy. The documents you discovered are strictly for internal use. They wouldn't hold up in a legal setting. You were aware that Robert Chang's daughter was employed here, yet you chose to remain silent. Daniel gave a slight shrug. I was managing it. Similar to how you dealt with her father? Ethan's voice dripped with disdain. Don't act all high and mighty with me, Daniel snapped. Each acquisition brought you advantages. This company bears your name as well. Your standing depends on our achievements. The weight of those words struck Ethan deeply. He embraced the swift expansion without probing its underlying principles. Ethan finally declared, I'm bringing this to the board. Daniel chuckled heartily. Half the board is already familiar with our operations. The other half prefers to remain uninformed. You'll bring about your own downfall, not mine. We'll find out soon enough. Just as Ethan was about to walk away, Daniel shouted his name, urging him to stop. Is this truly a matter of business ethics? Or is it more about the girl? It's truly sad to think that you jeopardize a 15-year partnership over a fleeting infatuation with an intern. Ethan chose not to respond to that. In the meantime, Lily had been steering clear of the executive floor altogether. Following her clash with Daniel and her revelation to Ethan, she braced herself for the possibility of being let go. In contrast, there was a complete lack of action. There was no call to HR, no notice of termination, only an unsettling quiet. When Ethan finally summoned her to his office, she arrived bracing herself for the worst. "Have you come to a conclusion?" she inquired, her posture stiff as she stood before his desk. "Concerning what topic?" "Regarding my termination. I have no intention of letting you go, Ms. Chong." Ethan appeared utterly drained, shadows lingering beneath his eyes. "I extend my sincerest apologies to you." He slid a folder across the table to her, much like the one he'd presented to Daniel, filled with proof of the calculated dismantling of Chong Tech. Ethan spoke softly. "Your father was right. He was the focus of attention, not from me but from this company, from my partner." Lily's hands shook as she perused the documents. Years of doubt laid bare in stark clarity. "What actions will you take?" she inquired. "I will present everything to the board tomorrow." Daniel is determined to resist. He has supporters who will stand by him. Those kinds of men always look out for one another. The sharpness in her tone was undeniable. Ethan locked eyes with her. "I am different from him. Are you not? This company was built together by you. I created products while he crafted." Ethan pointed to the papers. "This, and I was oblivious to it, or perhaps I simply opted not to acknowledge it. That implicates me, indeed, but it is not equivalent." Lily clung to her anger, a fire that had driven her for years. Yet the sincere remorse reflected in Ethan's gaze made it a challenge to maintain. At last, she spoke up, offering a glimmer of hope. "Following the downfall of our company, my father meticulously documented everything. Records, conversations, meetings, elements that seemed nonsensical at the time. If what you discovered falls short, perhaps his notes will bolster your argument. What motivates you to assist me? This may harm Hayes Tech, your present employer." Lily made it clear that she wouldn't be offering any assistance. "I am assisting my father. He is worthy of redemption, even if it comes long after the fact." Just as she was about to walk away, Ethan's voice rang out, calling her back. "Thank you, Lily." It marked the inaugural moment he had uttered her first name. There was an undeniable quality in his voice, a hint of vulnerability that compelled her to look back. "Hold off on the gratitude for now. Daniel is determined to stand his ground, and he has far more at stake than you do." "Could you clarify what you mean?" "My father often remarked that those who feel the most guilt tend to put up the fiercest battles." She lingered at the threshold. "Exercise caution, Ethan. Individuals like Daniel don't adhere to the rules of fairness." That evening, as Lily sifted through her father's dusty files, a nagging doubt crept in. Was she about to make a grave error? Was she truly aiding in the pursuit of justice, or merely becoming ensnared in a corporate conflict where she would be the initial victim? The atmosphere in the boardroom was charged, reminiscent of a courtroom, as Ethan presented his case with precision. 14 board members sat in a thick silence, their faces a mix of disbelief and measured composure. Daniel sat across from Ethan, exuding an unsettling calmness. Ethan reached the conclusion that these documents reveal a distinct pattern of corporate sabotage. It's not only about Chongtech. There are several companies involved. Unlawful actions carried out in the name of Haystack. Marjorie Wells, the senior member of the board, took off her glasses. These are grave accusations directed at an executive who has been part of this company since its inception. Those are not just allegations, Ethan clarified. These are established truths. Daniel finally spoke, his tone deliberate. What Ethan refers to as sabotage, I view as competitive intelligence. All businesses engage in this practice. Ethan disagreed, saying it shouldn't be this way. We shattered lives. Robert Chong suffered a stroke following the loss of his company. He has not been employed since then. Regrettable, Daniel shrugged. Yet it's not our obligation. James Westfield, the chair of the board, leaned forward. Although concerning, these incidents took place quite some time ago. What is your goal in this situation, Ethan? Ethan had foreseen this inquiry. Responsibility, compensation for those impacted, and Daniel stepping down. A wave of whispers coursed through the space. Daniel chuckled softly. This is utterly ridiculous. I established this company in partnership with Ethan. My approach might have been bold, yet it has shaped us into who we are now. He surveyed the table with a keen eye. All individuals present have gained from this experience. Your stock options and bonuses are all attainable due to our effective elimination of competition. A number of board members fidgeted in their seats. Ethan spoke softly, highlighting the distinction between competition and corruption. Daniel's confidence remained steadfast. The time frame for pursuing any of your suggestions has long passed. This may be a futile endeavor, Ethan admitted, perhaps even legally so. Yet, in terms of ethics, there is no deadline for acting with integrity, James Westfield sighed. Ethan, although worrisome, these previous actions present little legal risk to the company at this time. The true danger lies in the harm this conflict might inflict if it is exposed to the public eye. Ethan discerned the tone. The board sought the simplest answer, rather than the correct one. Ethan stated with conviction, "I'm not done yet." He picked up his phone and typed out a message. A few moments later, the door to the boardroom swung open. Lily stepped inside, clutching a weathered leather portfolio. Daniel's expression soured upon seeing her. "This is unacceptable," he retorted sharply. "She doesn't belong here. This is Miss Chong." Ethan presented her to the board. Child of Robert Chong, the visionary behind Chong Tech Solutions. She possesses further evidence to showcase. Lily opened the portfolio with calm precision, even as her heart raced within her chest. My father meticulously recorded every detail during the downfall of his company. Phone calls, the odd timing of events, client meetings that took an unexpected turn. She handed out copies of essential documents. Crucially, he documented a meeting with Daniel Carter during which he received explicit threats. Daniel rose suddenly. This is a concoction, a futile effort by an unsuccessful entrepreneur to shift the blame for his shortcomings onto others. Could it be? Lily retrieved a compact recorder from her portfolio. That meeting was recorded by my father. The hue vanished from Daniel's complexion as Lily hit play. The room resonated with the echoes of Daniel's voice from years past. Accept our offer, or you may find there's nothing remaining to trade. We have successfully persuaded Macrotech to terminate your contract. Next up is Norfield Securities. When we finish, Chong Tech will be no more. The recording pressed on, outlining precise threats that aligned perfectly with the events that later unfolded at Chong Tech. The moment it concluded, an overwhelming silence enveloped the room. "That's against the law," Daniel finally stammered. "Unacceptable." Ethan reminded him that they weren't in court. "We are assessing your suitability to continue in your role as an executive within this organization." The demeanor of the board had clearly changed. James Westfield wore a somber expression. He declared that we should carry on this conversation in an executive session. "Thank you for your testimony, Ms. Chong. You are forgiven." As Lily departed, Daniel cast her a glare filled with unadulterated loathing. "You'll come to regret this," he murmured. The board's discussion extended for hours. Upon their emergence, it was clear that their decision was unanimous. Daniel will be relieved of all operational responsibilities effective immediately. A financial settlement will be organized for the impacted companies, which includes the former employees of Chong Tech. Daniel burst out of the boardroom, stopping briefly to challenge Ethan in the hallway. "You lack the courage to lead this company without my presence," he spat. "You exhibit an excess of gentleness and a strong moral compass. This market will consume you whole." "Perhaps," Ethan responded with a sense of composure, "yet I can at least find peace within myself." Later that evening, Ethan discovered Lily in the vacant cafeteria, gazing out at the twinkling city lights. "It is complete," he informed her. "Daniel has been let go. A fund for restitution will be established by the board. Your father will take the lead." Lily nodded, her expression intricate. "I appreciate it, but this doesn't restore the time my father lost." The harm remains unchanged. Ethan acknowledged this. While it may not be everything, it's certainly a beginning. What is the future for Hayes Tech? Daniel was correct about one aspect. He played a crucial role in establishing this company. We rebuild, Ethan stated plainly, the correct way this time. Lily regarded him with deep contemplation. What prompted you to take this action? You put it all on the line. Ethan pondered the question with great thoughtfulness. Once I uncovered the truth, there was no way I could carry on as I had been. And due to his hesitation, you revealed to me the true essence of courage. For the first time since their confrontation, Lily smiled. A small, tentative smile that hinted at the potential for something beyond mere anger and justice. What do we do now? She inquired. Now we gather what remains, Ethan said, gazing out at the city beside her. For the two of us. The absence of Daniel sent waves of change through Hayes Tech. Ethan immersed himself in grueling 16-hour days, striving to unravel the intricate network of operations that his former partner had once dominated. Every revelation introduced fresh obstacles, dubious agreements requiring reevaluation, clients who had been assured unique terms, and staff devoted to Daniel, now observing Ethan with a wary eye. One morning, Ethan's new operations director reported that the Jakarta team is considering walking away. It is said that Daniel assured them of independence regarding the new security platform. Did he document that? Ethan inquired, fully aware of what the response would be. No, only spoken promises. Ethan massaged his temples, a gesture of weariness and contemplation. Arrange a video call. I will take care of it myself. This had evolved into his latest habit, extinguishing the flames Daniel had deliberately ignited across the organization. At times, it seemed as though Daniel had foreseen his own demise, intentionally complicating the shift at every turn. One late evening, while Ethan was poring over financial records in his office, there came a knock at the door from his CFO. You have to check this out, she said, setting a folder down on his desk. A pattern of payments to a shell company was uncovered, with all approvals granted by Daniel. Ethan sifted through the papers, a shadow crossing his face. Do you have any insight into the services they claim to offer? There's certainly nothing credible about it. The timing aligns with the challenging acquisitions you pointed out. A further fragment of Daniel's tainted legacy. Yet another situation to sort out. Initiate the steps to retrieve the funds, Ethan directed, and look into comparable agreements. As the CFO departed, Ethan gazed out his window, taking in the shimmering city lights. He had constructed this enterprise with Daniel, yet inexplicably, he had turned a blind eye to the corruption festering within its heart. The understanding was both grounding and isolating. Lily confronted her own hurdles throughout the building. Her advancement to junior analyst brought with it a new desk in the analytics department, along with the chilly reception from a few coworkers. Don't take it personally, Jake advised. A senior analyst who had been friendly from the beginning. Individuals are simply adapting to the new circumstances. It's not the changes, Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. This is the journey that led me to this point. Rumors trailed behind her as she navigated the office, suggesting she had schemed her way to a promotion, that she was exploiting her family background for advantage, and that she was receiving preferential treatment from the CEO. The speculation had some merit. Her journey had been unique, and her bond with Ethan was undeniable following the intense board meeting. The most painful aspect was the suggestion that she hadn't achieved her role based on her own abilities. That afternoon, Lily unveiled her consumer engagement analysis to the marketing team. Just as we were getting into the flow, the department head cut in. From where did you obtain these demographics? They are inconsistent with our earlier data. Lily explained that she cross-referenced our standard metrics with social media engagement patterns. It indicates that we are overlooking a crucial portion of possible users. The department head dismissed the approach, stating it hasn't been validated. Perhaps not in this place, Lily replied, but it's a common approach among our rivals. I can present 3 case studies that will adhere to our tried-and-true methods for the time being, he interrupted her. I appreciate your imaginative contributions. The rejection was unmistakable and degrading. As Lily collected her materials, She noticed the sympathetic looks from a few team members, which only intensified her discomfort. That evening, Lily settled into her father's modest apartment, assisting him with his physical therapy exercises. "You're applying too much pressure," Robert noted, as she extended his frail arm. "Is there something troubling you at your job?" Lily let out a deep sigh. "Simply the dynamics of the workplace. Nothing of significance. After 3 decades in the industry, I can sense when the absence of significance indicates that everything is unraveling." Robert's gaze was both gentle and perceptive. "Share with me." Lily detailed the circumstances, her advancement, the underlying bitterness, and the relentless pressure to validate her worth. She confessed that she believed revealing Daniel's truth would lead to closure. "Instead, it feels as though I'm shouldering this fresh burden. People perceive me as the intern who brought down an executive, rather than recognizing my genuine skills and contributions." Robert absorbed the words with deep contemplation. "When I embarked on the journey of Chong Tech, I was an immigrant with a distinct accent and a set of unconventional ideas. I was constantly overlooked by others. What actions did you take?" "I allow my creations to convey their own message. Outstanding performance is the best answer to uncertainty." He clasped her hand tightly. "Yet, there seems to be another concern weighing on your mind, doesn't it?" Lily paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. "Ethan Hayes. I'm uncertain about how to interpret him. A courageous young man who jeopardized his business to uphold his principles. What should we think of him? Did he really do that? Or was he merely safeguarding the reputation of Hayes Tech?" Robert examined his daughter's expression. "You have a clearer understanding of that than I do. I simply don't. Each interaction we have is conducted with utmost professionalism. He involves me in significant projects and appreciates my contributions, yet I find it hard to discern whether his regard is sincere or merely a form of compensation." "Did you inquire with him? In what way?" "Excuse me, Mr. Hayes, are you showing kindness towards me out of a sense of guilt regarding what occurred with my family?" Robert let out a soft laugh, maybe with a touch more finesse, but indeed. In a different part of the city, Ethan found himself welcoming an unanticipated guest. As the evening settled in, Robert Chong made his way to the office door, moving deliberately with the aid of a cane, his assistant having departed for the day. Ethan quickly rose from his desk and addressed Mr. Chong. "This is unexpected. I believe it's essential." Robert stepped in uninvited. "Is it all right if I take a seat?" "Absolutely." Ethan motioned toward a chair. "May I provide you with something? Is there water? Would you like some coffee?" Only responses. Robert positioned himself with great care. "I seek clarity on your feelings regarding my daughter." The bluntness of the inquiry surprised Ethan. "I aim to offer her the career opportunities she rightfully deserves." "Only professional?" Ethan sensed an unsettling vulnerability beneath the scrutiny of the older man's eyes. "Mr. Chong, your daughter possesses remarkable talent. My interest in her career stems entirely from her skills and talents." Robert nodded slowly, understanding the reason behind your attentive observation of her during meetings. Though she has been involved in executive initiatives that exceed her current role, Ethan started to voice his disagreement but ultimately decided against it. How could he articulate something he scarcely grasped himself? "Lily has supported our family since my stroke," Robert continued. "She set aside her own aspirations to nurture me, to mend what we had lost. She is entitled to transparency in every aspect, particularly from those who hold influence over her professional journey." The message was unmistakable and just. Ethan finally expressed his deep respect for your daughter. "In both my professional and personal life, I've been mindful to maintain suitable boundaries, considering our intricate past. Complex, indeed, yet the past does not dictate what lies ahead unless we allow it to." Robert ascended gradually. "My daughter perceives the world in stark contrasts. Individuals can be categorized as either reliable or unreliable. Daniel was not. The dilemma she faces at this moment is regarding your involvement." Once Robert departed, Ethan stayed at his desk, the elder Chang's words resonating in his thoughts. He had been keeping a careful distance from Lily, convincing himself that it was suitable considering their roles and past. But was it truly respect? Or was he merely sidestepping the awkward reality that his feelings for her had evolved past mere professional admiration? That evening, Ethan composed a note to Lily while preparing the official restitution notification for her father. This doesn't alter the events that affected your family, but I wish to demonstrate that I am not like him. There were individuals at Haystack who maintained their integrity. Not everyone will be present in what lies ahead. If you're open to it, I would appreciate your assistance in creating something we can both take pride in. He paused before hitting send, aware that the words held significance that went deeper than their appearance. The message extended an invitation, not merely to collaborate, but to embark on a journey of redefining their relationship under fresh terms. The inquiry revolved around Lily's readiness to embrace that risk. Autumn adorned Central Park with vibrant shades of amber and crimson, as Lily discovered her cherished hidden nook by the willow trees. In ways she had never envisioned, the last 3 months had reshaped her existence. Her father's health showed a remarkable improvement, as the necessary care became accessible at last. Last week, she received her promotion to senior analyst, accompanied by congratulations from colleagues who had observed her unwavering excellence. Yet, in spite of these uplifting transformations, a sense of restlessness remained deep within her. Every evening, she felt an irresistible pull to this serene nook of the park, a place where she could release the day's burdens through graceful motion. Since childhood, dance had served as her refuge, a realm where inquiries faded and pure emotion took center stage. Tonight, she danced to a melody known only to her, her form swaying gracefully with the soft wind that tossed the fallen leaves about her bare feet. In this space, she transcended the shadows of her family's sorrow and the weight of her career aspirations. She was just Lily, conveying feelings that words could never fully capture. The evolution at Hayes Tech progressed steadily under Ethan's guidance. The committee she had a hand in founding had brought about significant transformations. Openness took the place of concealment. Working together surpassed the need to compete. The company culture gradually transformed from Daniel's ruthless atmosphere to one that is more sustainable. The dynamic between her and Ethan had transformed into a collaboration founded on shared respect. She held his strategic vision in high regard, while he admired her innovative perspective. Yet, their exchanges were meticulously contained, as if both were hesitant to confront the subtle tension that occasionally infused their meetings with a sense of unexpressed potential. "You continue to dance." The unexpected voice caught Lily off guard as she turned. Ethan lingered at the boundary of the clearing, his suit jacket casually slung over one arm, the tie around his neck relaxed and slightly askew. As the light dimmed, the once imposing CEO appeared more relatable. Exhausted creases framing his gaze, hair a bit tousled from restless fingers combing through it. She countered, feeling oddly exposed to be caught in this intimate moment. "You still work too late." A subtle smile eased the lines of his face. "Certain habits are tough to break." "What brings you to this part of the park?" Lily inquired, as she bent down to grab her shoes. "I relocated to a nearby apartment after." There was no requirement for him to complete it. Following Daniel. Following the transformation of it all. "At times, I take this route home to find some clarity in my thoughts." "Are your thoughts weighing heavily tonight?" The expansion in London. Monotonous anticipations, as always. He paused, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. "And uncommon things." A heavy silence hung in the air between them. Lily occupied herself with her shoes, while Ethan appeared captivated by the intricate patterns of light dancing through the trees. "I received your message," she said at last, "regarding the idea of creating something we can both take pride in. So, I'm still in the process of understanding what that entails." Ethan nodded, grasping the significance of her words. They started to stroll down the path, their steps aligning effortlessly. "The feedback on your analysis of consumer behavior was remarkable," he remarked. "Even Henderson was persuaded, and he rarely endorses new approaches. Once the preliminary results arrived, his options were severely limited." Lily indulged in a fleeting sense of pride. The changes in demographics were far too substantial to overlook. Ethan spoke softly. You've shown your worth to everyone, even those who doubt. There were those who believed in my talents. Negative. Your talent was evident to some of us right from the start. Their gazes intertwined for a fleeting moment before they both averted their eyes. 3 months of diligently upheld professional boundaries felt unexpectedly delicate. Lily suddenly announced that she had received another job offer from Meridian Systems. Ethan's steps wavered just a bit. I was unaware. They came to me personally. It's a position of leadership. That's quite remarkable. Have you thought about it? Lily observed his profile intently. A new beginning awaits. Simple and straightforward. Hayes Tech would forfeit a crucial resource. His voice held a steady calm, yet his fingers subtly constricted around his jacket. Only the company? The straightforwardness of her inquiry lingered in the crisp evening atmosphere. Ethan halted his steps, pivoting to confront her completely. No, he confessed softly. It's more than just the organization. A change stirred in the air between them. A boundary fading away, or a reality finally embraced. Ethan pressed on, his words emerging with palpable strain as he admitted to maintaining his distance. I believed it was the appropriate course of action. Following all that transpired with your father's business and Daniel, my intention was never to make you feel any pressure or obligation. Was that your impression? That I was unable to differentiate between professional admiration and... Lily hesitated, reluctant to articulate the feelings that had been blossoming between them. I had no intention of jeopardizing your career or reputation. The challenges of office gossip are already quite taxing for you. It seems you've made the choice for us both. Her tone held no accusation, only a sense of clarity. As the wind intensified, a flurry of autumn leaves danced around them. One became ensnared in Lily's hair, and instinctively, Ethan extended his hand to free it. His fingers hovered, the fleeting touch igniting a warmth that enveloped them both. Teach me, he said suddenly, the request taking them both off guard. Lily arched an eyebrow. What do you want to learn? To move, to release? His expression conveyed a deep sincerity, teetering on the edge of vulnerability. I have devoted my whole existence to managing every detail. My business, my timetable, my feelings. See where that led me. Lily cautioned that dance isn't a skill acquired solely through relentless effort. It involves letting go of control rather than holding on to it. Perhaps I'm ready to let go of the need to manage every detail. The revelation appeared to astonish him just as much as it did her. Lily regarded him with contemplation. The formidable CEO seeking to grasp something so far beyond his usual realm. The request held a charm that was both touching and deeply meaningful. She reached out her hand. No guarantees that you'll excel. I'm okay with that. She led him to the expansive area beneath a maple tree, vibrant with hues. To begin, gently shut your eyes. Experience the earth under your soles. Ethan acquiesced, his expression revealing a hint of discomfort yet a resolute determination shone through. Now pay attention, not to the noises around you, but to the desires of your body. Check my email, he remarked with a hint of irony, his eyes remaining shut. Lily's laughter rang out, a true expression that appeared to unlock something within them both. She rested her hands gently on his shoulders. Act without hesitation. Initially, his movements were rigid, each step weighed down by overthinking. Yet as Lily's soft melody floated through the air, he slowly began to ease into the rhythm. With gentle nudges, she steered him, and gradually their actions harmonized into a shared creation, neither taking the lead. As Ethan awoke, he found himself entwined in a dance beneath the vibrant autumn foliage, with distant city lights shimmering like stars. His hands settled on her waist, drawing her in tighter than what was required for mere guidance. Lily recognized with a smile that you aren't all that bad. Truly commendable. His voice was gentle, personal in the encroaching twilight. Ethan, she murmured softly, what are we embarking on? At this moment, moving awkwardly in an open park, you get what I'm saying. He inhaled deeply, beginning anew, shedding the roles of CEO and analyst, leaving behind the identity of the man who unveiled Daniel and the daughter of a man he had wronged, simply as Ethan and Lily. Could that be achievable given our past? I'm not sure, he replied candidly, but I'm eager to discover the answer. She examined his features, the earnestness in his gaze, the tightness at the corners of his lips that showed just how significant her response was to him. Me too, she replied softly, taking a step closer. As the gap between them finally narrowed, both sensed the peculiar assurance that arises when a choice isn't truly a choice, but rather the recognition of a truth that has been quietly awaiting acknowledgement. The grand ballroom of the Claridge Hotel buzzed with excitement as Hayes Tech's annual innovation conference approached its pivotal keynote moment. Illuminated by the soft radiance of glass chandeliers, the gathered industry leaders, investors, and employees eagerly anticipated Ethan Hayes' entrance onto the stage. A year had gone by since Daniel left, a year marked by rebuilding, restructuring, and redefining the essence of Hayes Tech within the technology landscape. The company not only endured the transition but flourished, with its ethical business practices emerging as a blueprint for others to follow. From her vantage point in the front row, Lily observed Ethan making his way to the podium. The once intimidating executive, fixated on numbers, had vanished. In his place stood a figure who garnered admiration, not by means of fear, but through the power of motivation. His presentation showcased this transformation, focusing less on market supremacy and profit margins, and more on the potential of technology to address human challenges. Ethan concluded his address by stating that innovation devoid of empathy results in powerful tools that lack meaningful purpose. At the new Hayes Tech, we craft technology that comprehends humanity, developed by individuals who grasp the essence of responsibility. The applause erupted without hesitation, filled with sincerity. As guests made their way to the reception area, Lily found herself enveloped by influential figures in the industry, all eager to engage in conversation about her recent promotion to Director of User Experience, a role she had essentially built from the ground up. A developer from a competing firm remarked that incorporating emotional response metrics into product testing is groundbreaking. What strategies did you use to persuade the executive team to embrace such a unique approach? Lily responded succinctly by presenting the results. Understanding others isn't merely an ethical choice. It's a smart strategy for success. Across the room, she noticed her father engaged in an animated discussion with a group of board members. Robert Chong had emerged as a notable figure in tech circles following the release of his memoir chronicling the ascent and decline of Chong Tech. Now acting as a formal advisor to Hayes Tech's ethics committee, he had turned his challenging experience into insights that inspired a new generation of business leaders. His health had steadily progressed. This evening, he stood confidently without his cane, using lively gestures to emphasize his words. Witnessing him thrive once more filled Lily's heart with a comforting warmth. Your father is quite the charmer. Ethan's voice came from beside her, his hand resting lightly on the small of her back. The chair of the board just shared that they've gained more insights from him in 6 months than from all their business consultants put together. He's truly in his zone once more, Lily beamed. Guiding and nurturing others has always been his greatest passion in the journey of creating a business. Ethan recognized that he is reconstructing his legacy in a manner I never expected, through influence instead of ownership. Lily noted that at times, influence can bring about more enduring transformation than sheer power. Naomi Suzuki, the CEO of Matsuo Technologies and Hayes Tech's largest international partner, interrupted their conversation. Hello, Miss Chong, Naomi said with a friendly smile. The user experience framework you crafted for our collaboration has surpassed every expectation. The team in Tokyo is especially impressed. Lily responded with delight. That's wonderful to hear. The testing across cultures played a vital role in shaping the design. Naomi regarded Ethan with a discerning gaze. Mr. Hayes, you have changed since our negotiations last year. The change within your company and within yourself is truly impressive. Ethan's hand touched Lily's for a fleeting moment. Varying priorities shape distinct viewpoints. Once Naomi had departed, Ethan glanced at his watch. Just 45 more minutes of mingling, and then we can make our elegant exit. The CEO departing from his own company event prematurely? How scandalous, Lily teased. Is the director of user experience joining him? He responded with a smile, even more so. Their relationship had developed slowly and thoughtfully. During the initial 3 months, they maintained complete confidentiality, wary of how it might be viewed within the office. When they ultimately recognized it openly, the response was unexpectedly subdued, as though everyone had anticipated its emergence long before they came to terms with it themselves. As the evening wore on and the final guests took their leave, they found themselves on the rooftop garden of the hotel, gazing out at the city, which lay before them like a shimmering tapestry of lights. "We ought to celebrate," Ethan remarked, loosening his tie. "The extension of the Matsuo partnership has been officially signed. 3 competing firms are embracing the new ethical guidelines, and the innovation from your department stole the spotlight at the conference." Lily highlighted those as the company's accomplishments. "Indeed, but I had something more intimate in mind." Ethan delved into his pocket and pulled out a delicate velvet box. Lily's breath hitched. "Ethan, it's not what you believe," he said hurriedly, lifting the lid of the box to unveil a key. "It's at my coastal residence. The renovation has reached its glorious conclusion." The beach house had consumed his thoughts for months. A sanctuary away from the city's chaos where they could find solace together. "Are you suggesting that I should move in with you?" Lily inquired, grasping the key. "I'm inquiring if you're prepared for the next phase, however that may unfold for us." Lily held the key in her palm, tiny yet heavy with meaning. Their journey together had been unique from the beginning, evolving from adversaries to allies and then to something more profound, with each shift characterized by thoughtful deliberation instead of rash decisions. She spoke with caution. "There's something I need to tell you first. I have received an offer for a guest lectureship at MIT, focusing on the design of ethical technology. I would need to divide my time between this place and Boston for a duration of 6 months. When do you begin?" There was an unwavering certainty in his voice, filled only with encouragement. "February, should I choose to accept." "You ought to," Ethan said without hesitation. "It's a remarkable chance, even if it means we won't be together as much." "Lily," he spoke softly, "we are crafting something significant, not merely a connection, but a blueprint for the life we aspire to lead. Encouraging one another's development has consistently been an integral aspect of that." She wrapped her fingers around the key, filled with a sense of how much they had both achieved. The woman who walked into Hayes Tech in search of justice could never have anticipated discovering partnership instead. The individual who had constructed his existence on the foundation of control discovered the liberation that arose from surrendering. "Is that a confirmation?" he inquired, pulling her nearer. "To the essential?" "Absolutely." She looked up at him with a smile. "Shall we continue this journey together?" "Definitely, without a doubt." With the city lights twinkling in the background, Lily leaned her head against Ethan's chest, savoring the calm pulse of his heartbeat. Their history did not limit them, their labels did not restrict them, and their future, yet to be penned, brimmed with opportunities neither could have envisioned when their paths first crossed. What started as a night that transformed everything resulted in a life neither wished to alter in the slightest. You have just delved into the tale of Ethan and Lily, a narrative woven with themes of redemption, trust, and fresh starts. 2 distinct realms converged through unforeseen events, illustrating that the past need not dictate our future, and that embracing vulnerability can become our most powerful asset. If the story moved you, please share your thoughts on what struck a chord with you the most. We're eager to find out the country from which you're viewing this video. Your viewpoint enhances our narrative collective. If you found this tale of corporate and personal transformation engaging, please consider leaving a like, sharing it with someone who might also value a story about second chances, and subscribing to the channel for more narratives that delve into the intricacies of human relationships across various contexts.